My name is Ashley Stathes, and I'm from Dallas, Texas.
My name is Branden Stathes. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm 27 years old.
I'm 27 too. I ended up in Austin after I graduated college. I took a job working at the University of Texas, Young Life, and I've been here ever since. So when we were dating, looking towards potentially getting married, potentially getting engaged, there were certain aspects of each other's lives that we wanted to sort of check off and say, okay, how's this going? What are your thoughts and expectations in this area? One of those was finances.
We were sitting in a coffee shop, and Branden was like, so, what do your finances look like? And as I brought up debt, and I was like, yeah, well, I have a lot of student loan debt, and that's where I said some of my money went to. He was like, how much do you have? And I was like, I don't even know the vastness of it. I don't know how much I have. His disapproval was like, I was like, oh gosh.
It was a light disapproval.
In deep. It was a light disapproval. But it was like,
cool.
Oh wow, I can start sinking in my seat. And there that's where the conversation began. Okay, well let's look into how much you have.
Ashley called me and she was a little off. She goes, well, I found out how much student loan debt I have.
So then after we calculated, it discovered it was about $62,000.
I don't know. I don't even know what I said at that point. I was like, oh. And I think initially there was some fear in me. How are we going to live? How are we going to live with that payment? How I probably should change jobs. All that type of stuff went through my head and was very, very real.
Gosh, we have an incredibly strong group of friends here in Austin. That's one thing that drew us here. It's just an incredible community of people that love each other really well.
It was really interesting. When I first met Branden, it was like just that natural click of a guy that is going to be one of your very close friends. When I first met Ashley, we were getting ready to move her down to Austin, and I was moving all my stuff from Dallas to Austin.
I met Branden when I came home from work one day and sat down on the couch next to me and said, my name's Branden and we're gonna be friends.
I met Branden when I started to work with him, basically.
Ashley has always been someone that, she's been so steady.
I remember very clearly when Branden told me that they were gonna take this on head on and just eliminate the debt in the fastest and most streamlined way possible. And I just remember being like, wow, I don't know how you guys are gonna do it.
There were a lot of questions, a lot of, do you really need to go at it that hard?
My business mind was like, well, if you can find a better investment, it's not a bad thing to leave some of that as debt and to also invest in a higher interest rate accruing type of an account. And he's just like, no, bro, we're going after it full bore. We're gonna put every bit of Ashley's salary towards there. And I happen to know how much Branden makes because we talk about it. And I just remember being like, wow, all right, here we go.
One night I was just talking to Ashley on the phone, and I could hear it in her voice. I was just like, I miss them and I want to see them, and I was so proud of the way they had been fighting for it. I felt like God was just like, well, do something about it. If I feel this way about this, and I know there's a lot of people who care and love them, I bet they would help out.
And we just started kind of coming to a point saying, here's where we need to be in terms of us raising money, and as their debt is dwindling and we're raising money, and we just needed to project out where those two are gonna meet.
Before we started even asking, everybody was wanting in on it.
I think that was the beauty of it, is there was a girl who, emailed me one day and she's like, I can only give $8. I think it's like for her, she got to understand that my heart was being pushed towards giving.
We love bringing people into our home. And so we also knew that we wanted to make it not just a hand over the check, but we wanted people to have an opportunity to say why they wanted to give. We thought, well, let's just invite everybody over. Let's go all out with this.
I wanted to tell them so bad before the night happened. But knowing that it was coming, it was the biggest night of my year.
Yeah, so Chris, he called me and says, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" "Nothing? Great. I'm going to take you to this place. It's this new place in town. You're going to love it. I want to bless you and Ashley. You just come with me, and I'll take you to a really, really cool restaurant in town."
So the night started, I basically just picked them up at their apartment, told them we were a little early, and I needed to stop by Lucy's house to grab some shirts.
I expected as we got here, he would just hop out and grab the shirt, and he like turned off his car, and I was like, okay, like, what are we doing here? I guess we're all gonna go get the shirt.
They had no idea what was going on that night.
Lucy was here to greet us, and so we all came inside. It was like super clean and fresh in here, and I was like, man, this is great. They took us, Lucy was like, oh, they're actually out back. And I was like, they're out back? Like, t-shirts outside? That's kind of odd, but sure, let's go.
I'm utterly confused. There's people from all walks of life that we know all around town.
Not even on cue, just people picked up the microphone, and the second they sat down, just started talking about what Branden and Ashley meant to them, and the biggest things that they saw in Branden and Ashley that were a blessing to their lives.
It was so neat to be able to have a reason to tell your friend what they mean to you.
So then Lucy got on the mic, and still no clue what's going on, and she starts to say some things that she sees in us, and then she says, you know, one thing that all of us here have in common that we've learned and seen in y'all is your journey of paying off debt. So over the last couple weeks, we've all been putting together a lump sum of money because we want you guys to know that Jesus has set you guys free in hundreds of ways. And we want to be that picture to you guys. And we want y'all to know that right now, you're debt free.
Branden and Ashley didn't know what to do. I think at that moment it clicked.
Every single person in that audience walked away a little bit further understanding of how deep and how far and how much Jesus loves us.
I think I've just learned that God's economy is more of the heart, and so I think He really showed me I doubted He could do something big. He totally destroyed that lie.
One of the funny things that I don't understand about life is that it really is more fun to give than to receive. They received the gift of the money, but we received the gift of joy and love because we gave.